Implementation of the science of reading in the classrooms. The University of Florida Literacy Institute has developed a research-based program aligned with the science of reading to provide educators with tools for delivering effective literacy instruction. UFly emphasizes structured, explicit, systematic teaching methods to support early literacy development and helping struggling readers. So UFly has a structured literacy approach. It's focused on phonological awareness, phonics and decoding, fluency development, vocabulary and comprehension, and progress monitoring. Implementation of the science of reading in the classroom. So UFly has all of these resources. So on here there is a link that takes us to the UFly Foundation's toolbox. This is the physical manual, which you teach from. This is in the UFly toolbox website, which is a apps generator that you can pick whatever spelling concept that you're teaching that week, and the students can use this to practice their words and their spellings. In order to explicitly teach the UFly, on day 2, the students work with manipulating letters. This could be cookie sheets with magnet letters that the students manipulate to encode and decode words. In the resource, there is also roll-in reads, and there is a decodable text for every single lesson. Students can use this with the die, roll it, and then they read, or they can just work on their fluency with the partner, and they can cross out as they read. I put donors choose because even though all of these resources online are free, this right here is also another example that you could use on the website in place of magnetic letters. This would be the word mat, and these would be your letters that you would cut out, and the students can manipulate these letters if we can't afford or get access to manipulative letters. I put on here donors choose because if a teacher has not done donors choose before, an educator has not done this before, they can put all their multisensory materials on there that they might need. They can do a Amazon wish list if the school allow it, and get all the materials that they need in order to implement UFly, or they can even select a room mom or room parent to print, laminate, and cut everything that the students need in order for this to be highly effective. The role of assessment in the science of reading, phonological and phonemic awareness, the ability to recognize and manipulate sounds in spoken words. K, at, k, c, a, t. Phonics and decoding, knowledge of sound symbol relationships and the ability to decode unfamiliar words. Fluency, reading with speed and accuracy with appropriate expression. Vocabulary, understanding the depth of word knowledge, including understanding meanings of words. And comprehension, ability to understand, interpret, and make inferences from text. How assessment drives instruction. Assessments can help us identify gaps in foundational skills. They pinpoint whether students struggle with phonological awareness, decoding, or fluency, or encoding. They can help us to group our students for differentiated instruction. They can help us in adjusting teaching strategies. They can help us with providing tiered interventions and celebrating student growth and success. Challenges in adopting the science of reading. Adopting the science of reading represents a shift in how literacy is taught, requiring systematic changes in teacher training, instructional materials, and assessment practices. While the challenges are significant, addressing them strategically can lead to improved literacy outcome for all students. 95% of students can learn to read when using instruction programs that are based on the science of reading. 30% can learn to read with any instruction. 50% need explicit and direct instruction and foundational skills. 15% with additional time and support, and 5% will likely continue to struggle to cognitive disabilities. Resistance to change. Challenges to adopting the science of reading consist of many educators and institutions are accustomed to balanced literacy or whole language approaches. The implication would be that teachers may experience anxiety or resistance if they feel their expertise is being undermined. Limited teacher training and professional development challenges. New teachers may lack the knowledge and skills to implement science or reading aligned practices. Current teachers need extensive professional development. Insufficient resources. Science or reading requires high quality materials, like I stated in the previous slide, that maybe a room parent can print all your materials for you, laminate and cut, and get that ready for your students. Implications: schools in low income areas may struggle to afford materials. Donors Choose is a great resource. You can put what you're looking for in order to execute the science reading. Equity and access barriers: students from historically marginalized groups may face additional challenges. Misconceptions about the science of reading: some educators misunderstand the science of reading, equating it solely with phonics instruction or seeing it as a one-size-fits-all approach. Overemphasis on phonics without addressing fluency, vocabulary, and comprehension is the implication here. And lack of consistency in implementation: schools and districts may adopt the science of reading inconsistently, with variations in teaching, training materials, and practices. The implication: inconsistent implementation can dilute the effectiveness of the approach, making it harder to evaluate its success. The future of reading instruction. The landscape of reading instruction is evolving. This year, Seminole County has adopted the UFly, and that is what teachers are using for their explicit instruction inside the classrooms. Science reading is driven by research, technology, and an increased focus on equity and evidence-based practices. It will continue to influence how educators approach literacy, ensuring students develop strong foundational skills while addressing the diverse needs of the 21st century learners. Evidence-based practices as the standard. Emerging trends: science reading is becoming the benchmark for literacy instruction, with a growing number of schools and districts adopting this approach. Policies and legislations are increasingly mandating science and reading aligned curricula and professional development for all educators. Future implications: students will emphasize explicit, systematic teaching of phonics, vocabulary, fluency, and comprehension. Reading instruction will be data-driven, informed by regular assessments to tailor interventions, and then emphasis on early intervention. Early literacy initiatives such as the universal pre-kindergarten and early screening for reading difficulties are expanding as we speak. And here are my references. Thank you for your time.